I would almost advise you at that point to just tech out of them. Switch into High Templar or Archons or Colossi or anything really. And the reasoning is works about 70% of the time, but you don't do it anymore. That's fair. Again, it's one of those things where it's like you can do that kind of stuff. The problem is it really won't help you that much in the long run because there's a point at which people are just going to learn to scout you better. And I would say the gold to platinum range is where that happens. It's just what happens in the world. Yeah, that's about it, to be honest. Armies, Zealot, Speedy Legs, and Colossi. Charge Lot Colossi is a good one. Charge Lot Archons, another one. I personally love Charge Lot High Templars, which is usually Charge Lot Archon. Storms are so good. I was watching the IPL 4 recently, and what's his name? They were doing the GSL Team League finals, and it was Prime versus Startails. And they had, what was his name? Startails. It was the one where there's the disconnect in the middle. Storm greater than Marines. It depends. I'll rage about that in a second. But is there a specialist who's so good at PvT? I can't remember his name now. Anyway, he's this amazing player, and what he was doing was actually sending out individual High Templar into the middle of the map, and the reason was that as soon as Marine King Prime would send his Bio Ball at him, he would just storm it, and his storms were perfect, just 100% of the time, just where they should be. And I don't know if many of you know this, but actually Storm's been nerfed since Brood War, and Brood War is actually more powerful than it is now. But it was just like he was on it all the time, and he was winning. Marine King didn't have that much, and then there was a disconnect, and it was an internet problem, and they decided to regame it, and Marine King won. And I was really frustrated because Marine King's such a good player, and admittedly he deserves all that stuff, but it was such a phenomenal game. I really felt like he deserved the win, and his team probably would have appreciated that because Marine King killed 2 other players afterwards, Bomber and someone else, I believe. So, yeah, Marine King's such a beast. About Storm greater than Marines. Storms are greater than Marines 90% of the time, and here's why they're not. Medivacs. Medivacs, like, I was talking about Terran units arguably being broken at one point, and I would say that next to the Marine, probably the most broken one is the Medivac. And the reasoning is I was playing, I've had this happen several times, but the most recent was I was playing this game where I was on the top of my ramp, I had High Templar with Storm, he charges up with a Bio Ball, I storm both the front and ladder section of the ramp, he runs through both of them, taking all the damage. I have some some Zealots up at the top, just hacking away at stuff, and they're all down to about 10 hit points, and they managed to kill my units, and as my second wave, like 6 Stalkers are warping in on the high ground, the second high ground of my base, it was on Chikura, so there's that secondary base area. The Medivacs just heal everything up, and I ended up losing because Stalkers can't kill fully healed Marines if they're in high enough numbers. And I was so frustrated because, of course, I'd lost my High Templar at that point. They didn't have any energy, even if I hadn't. And I just was like, how imba is this that, Storm doesn't even kill them? You have 5 High Templar. Should I just storm the... It depends, honestly, how their armies split up. If it's just a solid clump, yeah, go ahead, launch some storms. Don't launch, I would say, more than 1 in one area. Try and, hit where they're going to be moving next. So, line up a stack so they have to move through them, just trying to anticipate their movements a little. You can also sometimes use it to ward away their army if you're trying to get better position. So as soon as they start moving towards you, you storm, and then they'll move back, and you can kind of move your forces around. What really works well, actually, is High Templar with Storm and some Colossi, and the reasoning is that the Storm does good DPS, and it just, levels, like I said, the Marines down to, 10 hit points, and then the Colossi can just mop them up with the AoE. Yeah, storms do friendly fire damage. That's the other thing. You have to be careful not to walk your own army through your storms. If you do that, it's not the end of the world. Protoss armies are so tanky that usually you don't see it as big of a problem, but it does happen. And you certainly don't want to just waste your unit's shields, especially versus a Terran, where Protoss balls just get crushed for the most part. Yeah, what else should I say at this point? That's the main things. Let's see. So you can kill your own team. You can also just attack target them usually if you're playing on a team game. Let me just real quickly see if any of my friends wanted to play a team match with me, because I want to take a little bit of a break. There's Dennis. It's not online. Okay, I'm going to give him a quick call on Skype. You guys are going to be able to listen in, okay? Just 6-pool my partner. Yeah, that's happened at times. We'll see. Maybe I'll get my friends to do Fun Day Monday with me. The Fun Day Monday this week is actually Ghosts, where one player has to go only Ghosts and Medivacs and do some epic nukes. And as they nuke, they have to say Dr. Seuss type rhyming lines about nukes, which is very hard to come up with on the spot, I found out. You're not going to hear me yet. He's still calling. If it goes through, you'll hear it. Yeah, he's not going to answer. Let's try Connor. I've done this in the past where people can hear me. Stay in your base so I can nuke your face. That's a fairly good one. I'll have to remember that. We had 1 base, 2 base, red base, boom base, I think was another one, something like that. Or 1 base, I nuke your base. I don't know. Something like that. Some rhyming thing that was about nuking. Connor, back up! Ah, bastards. Okay, let's see. Is there anyone else on Skype who would want to play with me? Okay, nope, no one else. So I guess I'll go back to one in just a second. Let me just real quickly check something else. So I've got, it says I've got 3 viewers watching. Probably that's you, Mutant, myself, and someone else. To the other person or other 2 people who are watching, if you want to say hi in chat real quickly before I go in, that'd be wonderful. I'd love to know who it is. If it's my friends, just tell me. If it's someone new, please let me know, and let me know where you came from, because, you know, I like to know. It's kind of nice. The other person is a mod. Well, I'm in the chat as well, so I don't know if that's who you mean. Otherwise, it might be Brett, or it might be Dennis. Or it might be, I think there's 2 other mods that I modded. Oh, Brett's in the channel. Brett! Brett, do you want to play 2s? Brett! No? Apparently he's not going to answer me. Well, maybe perhaps later. In the meantime, let me just switch back. Is that gonna... Yep, we're on the right screen. Now you're not going to see me play a game where I'm commenting about what's going on, and all you see is my face because I forgot to switch the screen, which has happened more times than I care to mention. So yeah, again, since it's just the 3 of us, I don't really need to say this, but for anyone who's watching the video of this, this is Devlin, aka Solarin. That's the tag I've used since I was something like 11 in various things. I'm a gold-ranked Protoss in school, i.e. college at the moment. Political science major. So, social scientist. And if you're a natural scientist, you're probably going to start raging about how it's not actually science and all that. And you know what? I actually don't care what you think about that because you're wrong. And I'd love to have a debate with you so I could beat you in public because I'm very good at talking. Apart from that, I've been busy with school, which is why I haven't been playing as much recently or streaming, although I'm going to try and fix that as time goes on. I had a pretty crazy week last week. I ended up having something like 4 tests and 2 essays due, which certainly cut into my StarCraft time, what I would normally play. So we're playing against a Zerg, I believe. This is a map I would not advise trying to do a Forge Fast expand. Normally I advocate Forge Fast expands for a Zerg. Not on this one. It's you can wall from your ramp right here over. It's such a long way, and it's so open that Zerglings can just get in it. And honestly, I don't think it's worth it. Not when you can just do a fairly fast expo build without the risk involved. I just say go for that. It's also a fairly small map in the scheme of things. I mean, obviously the rush distance isn't super small. Yes, he's even going for a fast pool. It looks like that was maybe an 8 pool. Yeah. Okay, Okay.
Your probes are under attack.
Well, that's fine. Whee! Okay, let's go back for scout. But yeah, so that's what's going on. Oh, Jesus Christ, it's lagging again. Sorry about that, guys. I really don't know what's been going on with my computer. Normally, when I'm running Game Booster, this doesn't lag, but I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, let's see. Has he got Zerglings being made? Yeah, probably. That's what those guys are right there. I'm actually going to even... I think I'm going to need to chrono out the... Oh, yeah. Let's see. And there we go. And if you can see what I just did there, I used a pylon building to block it. And I'm actually going to let it finish to avoid taking any losses from the Zerglings, just because I don't feel like it. And he actually got the Zealot. I'm impressed. Oh wow, actually. Okay.
You require more Vespine gas. You require... Your probes are under attack.
And as you can see, he's going to continue because he's pretty much all in at this point. And as you can see, what he really should do is pull these guys to start attacking the Cyber Core. So, and you might let a couple of them in, but I've got another Zealot coming out. Once again. Yep. Back to mining. And you know what? You can actually come back up here and throw it onto... let's see. Actually, anyways.
Justice be done. We are the blades of iron.
And there we go. So I should be very far in the lead at this point. Needless to say. I mean, he's wasted so many larvae on Zerglings. He's probably really behind in the drone count. I didn't lose that many drones, or perhaps I lost maybe 3 in total. Yeah, see, and there he's going. I kind of expected him to transition into like a Baneling nest, bust or something, but I mean, honestly, it wouldn't do any good. So, you know, this is the kind of thing players of all leagues and levels try. You'll find it more often, I think, in the low leagues, but it's just one of those things. You kind of have to get used to it. And the point is, that, at this point, it's just silliness to try to attack me anymore. So what I'm going to do, since I mentioned War Prism drop earlier, or War Prism dropping earlier, I think I may actually do that in addition to getting Colossi tech. Just because, you know, they're kind of fun. It's a little unusual. Just kind of interesting. Let's see, let's go straight and get a Warp Prism. And get the robotics, whatever the hell that's called. Zealots. And it's going to be construct additional pylons. So get those guys. The one thing I will want to do, you know what? I've lost too many weird-ass cheesy tactics.
You have not enough minerals.
I don't want to deal with that anymore. The last thing I want is from Denitis my main, because I'm not paying attention.
I meditate. You have not enough. My life for iron. Command me.